Welcome to Baseball Money is Fake, a fantasy baseball podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am Blake Meyer, and it is Tuesday, and the weather sucks, but baseball is great. And as always, I am here with my man, Ryan Gilbert. How you doing today, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I mean, we had just a whirlwind of information here before we hop on. Jeff Passan just tweeted the Angels are placing Giolito, Matt Moore, Renato Lopez, Hunter Renfroe, and Randall Grichuk on waivers. Huge potential playoff implications. All can be claimed by teams for free on Thursday. So there's no more waiver trades. So they're not going to get anything back. Just a salary dump by the Angels, who are just pinching pennies here, trying to save every penny they can to hopefully re-sign Ohtani. But yeah, it's going to be reverse order of record. So the worst teams have the best chance of these guys. But yeah, I could see. I mean, we'll talk about it more on Thursday or Friday when these guys are at their new teams. But huge implications in the fantasy baseball world, even depending on where these guys go.
Yeah. Some of these are pretty big names too. Like Giolito's a pretty big fantasy relevant name, even though he struggled a bit this year. Hunter Renfroe has huge power. So wherever he goes, just imagine Hunter Renfroe signs with Cincinnati Reds. That would be just fucking, or Colorado Rockies for all those playoff games in Colorado. Whew. That could be huge. We'll talk more about that on Thursday, like you said, because I have a feeling that those bigger names are going to get signed immediately.
Well,
the minute that they're ready, there's not going to be like some week long.
It's through waivers. Teams have to put the waiver claim in by Thursday, and whoever has the highest waiver order gets them. So yeah, by Thursday we're gonna know. I don't know what happens at this point if they clear waivers, if they become free agents. I don't think so, because when that happened back when there was a waiver trades were possible, but yeah, who knows? I have to imagine all those guys, even Matt Moore has been a solid reliever as much as I hated him on the Phillies. So that's going to be something definitely to keep an eye on over the next 2 days about, reports of who might be claiming who. And this changes the fantasy value of these guys.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy value of guys and keeping an eye on them, if you guys are new to the program, welcome. Please follow and hit the like button or whatever it is you have on your podcast streaming platform. It goes a long way to helping us out. If you are a return listener, what up? Happy you're back.
Yeah, but no matter what, if you have not left us a 5-star rating and review, make sure you do that on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, please.
Baseball Money is Fake, or just go to sg.pn/fake baseball. Haven't got one of those in a while. We're gonna get hyped up for the playoffs, so let us know what you think.
Yeah, and we had the ability to see the numbers on the back end, and I will say we got a lot of new listeners lately, so it goes a long way to helping us out. We appreciate y'all. But yesterday's episode was our waiver wire episode. We're expanding upon that today. Yesterday was just kind of a catch-all waiver wire episode that ended up being pretty catcher heavy because there's a lot of fantasy relevant catchers right now. There we go.
That's why I'm here.
Today, for the comedic relief. Today's episode, we want to really focus on infielders. For me, mainly, I'm leaning towards some middle infielders today because there was some fantasy news today, or just baseball injury news in general. Bo Bichette is back on the injured list. Matt McLain has also gone to the injured list, and Matt McLain's is an oblique. I don't remember what Bichette's is off the top of my head. McLain's is an oblique, and when there's only about 30 games left in the season. Okay. There's not really enough time for like somebody like a McLain to make it back from an oblique and be the hitter he was before that. An oblique is a lingering injury that does wonders when it comes to zapping power from hitters. So I'm not sure McLain's got any fantasy relevance for this year. But what I'm trying to say is you need some replacements. And if there's ever a place you go to find yourself some replacements, it's us, because we just dive into the numbers all day long. And we have a pretty good track record of hitting on guys. So just to jump right into it, Ryan, who's your first infielder that you've kind of got your eye on right now?
Yeah, it's shocking that I'm going to be the first one to bring a Mariners player up here, but JP Crawford has been killing it over the past, especially over the past 4 games, 3 multi-hit games, including 3 runs scored in all 3 of those games that he got on base, 2 home runs in that span, and a double as well there. So JP Crawford is former Phillies prospect legend there, has been just keeping it up atop that order. I mean, it helps when you can bat in front of someone like Julio Rodriguez, but
Mm-hmm.
JP Crawford's still only rostered in 20% of Yahoo leagues. I think shortstop is becoming a position again where it's kind of shallower. So I think Crawford, we'll see that rostership rate go up as long as he keeps this up.
As we should. I know a lot of the world probably doesn't watch Mariners games. I watch a shit ton of Mariners games. JP Crawford might be the most electric player on the Mariners right now. If you just watch him play, he's got
Over
5.
J-Rod? Come on.
Yeah, crazy. As crazy as that sounds, JP's got 5 leadoff home runs this year, which is like the second most in Mariners history in a season. And most of them will come on the first pitch of his first at bat in the game. And like I was at the game on Saturday. JP hit a double, and it might have been J-Rod hit a single and scored him. He wasn't supposed to go home. The third base coach held him up, and he just fucking kept going. Like he no longer cares. He is all out trying to win, trying to do everything he can to put the Mariners in a position to win. And all that has done is just create more counting stats for JP, which means more fantasy relevance, especially with this power that he's got now. I heard some rumors that he worked with Driveline in the offseason to work on lifting the ball more, and wouldn't you know it, we were big Driveline guys coming into the season, and we can sneak that one in there right now. Yeah, I love the JP Crawford choice. We mentioned him a couple weeks ago, I think, as somebody to keep an eye on, and here he is now.
Yeah, you mentioned him. What is happening with his speed? Because I thought he had some speed. He has 1 steal in the season.
I think the speed I think age is getting to him a little bit, and injuries, and he's just kind of deciding not to. He's not the oldest player, but I don't know, because the Mariners are pretty free with letting their base runners go, like if they want to. Kelnick has a green light. J-Rod has a green light. Rojas has a green light. A lot of these guys
Maybe
do.
he's just slow.
He could just be slow too, but I mean, he looked fast as hell on that scoring from second base the other day. He was flying. The helmet flew off. The dreads are flying in the wind behind him.
His sprint speed is in the 38th percentile. So yeah, that shows why he's why he's not stealing too much. But as I'm on the Baseball on my page, chase rate 96th percentile, whiff rate is up there, walk rate's up there. He's doing what you want to see as a leadoff hitter, getting on base, scoring runs, getting that power as well. He entered June hitting 246, or entered July hitting 238. Mm-hmm. He's now up to 268. In that span, 40 games. He has 6 home runs, hitting 318 with a 959 OPS, 13 doubles, extrapolates out to 53 doubles on the season, 24 home runs, only 57 RBIs on that in a full season, but 126 walks, great batting average. So if this is him finally like unlocking his hitting potential, this could be huge for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's something that, not to keep harping on Mariners, but I fucking love this. JP did it last year at the beginning of the year. If you go back and look through, I think the end of May, he was one of the best hitters in all of baseball. And then he just completely fizzled out for the rest of the year. And it left a lot of us Mariners fans wondering, like, what if he could do something like that over the course of a full year? Or what if he could kind of start slow and end the year playing like he played the beginning of last year? What could his season look like? And this is what it looks like. And bias aside, he's turning into one of the best leadoff hitters in baseball right now. I mean, he's not Ronald Acuna. He's not Schwarber with all the bombs. But when you talk about just overall, all around hitting and on base ability, and hell, even base running ability, he is rounding into one of the best leadoff hitters. And I love to see, because I do love the fantasy relevance that comes along with it. JP was one of those guys. He was a highly touted prospect for you guys, I believe it was. He was supposed to be really good. He was supposed to have a good hit tool. He's supposed to have a little pop, supposed to have a little speed, supposed to have a little bit of everything. And then all he really had was defense. And wouldn't you know it, he's kind of putting it all together right now. And I think he should be rostered. I mean, to me right now, he has 10 team relevance. If you play in like a middle infield league, an on-base percentage league, he's got some 10-team relevance, definitely 12-team and deeper, though.
Yeah, shortstop has gotten pretty shallow out there, especially with those injuries. But we are brought to you by DraftKings. College football fans, are you ready for Week 1? DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking up with can't miss offer to start the season strong. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Anything can happen in college football. Your team can go from unranked to dynasty mode in just a couple of years. Change comes fast. The only thing that's a lock is the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Got plenty of odds up on there, so make sure you check those out. And life's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. I got a question in the chat, probably for you here, Blake, from Chad. Do you think Jerry DiPoto tries to claim Giolito to add another arm to that bonkers rotation?
I don't. I think Jedi is going to be more focused on like a Hunter Renfro or Randall Grichuk or Reynaldo Lopez over a starter. It sounds odd, but we signed Luke Weaver to be like a long relief guy. It's panned out fairly well so far, and I think if we do bump into like a Brian Wu who can't throw any more innings scenario, a Luke Weaver type would likely take over that back end rotation spot rather than going out to get like a Giolito. It sounds weird, but that's kind of how the Mariners operate. They're not going to bring in a guy that they got to pay the money that they have to pay for Giolito, even if it is just paying the rest of his year's salary.
They don't have to. Yeah, it's not that much money. Is the thing? It's 1 month salary. I don't know what it is for Giolito, but yeah, Brian Wu over under 10 innings. He's more than halfway there. Went quality start, 6 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts last night against Oakland. So that was good to see.
Yeah, he did the one thing I said. I said yesterday, the only way he was going to go over that 10 innings and 2 starts was if he could find a way to pitch a gem where he throws like 80 pitches in 6 innings. And
I saw he had like
exactly
60
what he
something
did.
through like 6 innings or something. It was
crazy. He was 1 hit shy. He threw 6 innings of 3-hit ball. He was 1 hit shy of being like the Mariners' 7th game from a rookie that was 5+ innings with 2 or fewer hits. Which it's you're not supposed to be able to do that, but the Mariners can. And sticking with this Mariners talk, I swear it's not intentional, but I do have to make up for last episode when I didn't talk any Mariners. Josh Rojas is somebody that I have number 1 on my infield target list right now. He had a good 2021. He had a good 2022, and there was fantasy upside there. He had a very good March and April this year. So there was some fantasy value there as well. And then he sucked after that. He got sent down, went through the ringer, all that. It came to Seattle, and he's on record saying that when he came to Seattle, he went to Seattle's hitting coaches and told them, here's a couple of things that I like about my swing. You can completely change all of it if you want, but I need to rework everything to make something click for me at the plate. And wouldn't you know it, it's clicked. Since August 11th, he's hitting .367 with 5 extra base hits, 4 stolen bases, and he scored 16 runs. He's even driven in 10. He went 0 for in yesterday's game, I think it was. He went 0 for, or Sunday's game, whenever it was. But he had hits in like 6 straight games before that, if I remember correctly. He plays second and third base for fantasy purposes. So he does have the middle and corner infield eligibilities, and Rojas is finding a way to contribute in every category. So be mindful of the power. He's got 3 home runs for Seattle since coming over. It's only 3 home runs on the year. So he's not just all of a sudden like a freaking power hitter, but he's got some speed. He can hit doubles, and he's scoring a bunch of runs, even though he's batting at the bottom of the order. And I love Rojas from now till the rest of the year.
Yeah, he went to Seattle, and I don't know what they did to fix their swing, but he's been decent. He's someone I would definitely target in 12 team or deeper leagues. You said second base, third base, can do middle infield or corner infield. So as long as he's keeping this up, which he's been doing, I think he's worth adding.
Who you got next on your list, Ryan?
Someone else I was taking a look at, someone that was dropped in my league that I was shocked that was dropped. But if he's out there in your league, CJ Abrams has become one of the more prolific leadoff hitters, second base, shortstop eligible. He is rostered in 79% of leagues, so I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much time on him. But if he's out there, pick him up. 3 stolen bases on Monday against Toronto. He's been getting on base. He's been stealing bases. He has some power. And yeah, you mentioned Josh Rojas went 0 for 2 on Sunday, but he scored a run, he got a walk, and he stole a base. So still productive, even going 0 for 2. But yeah, if like CJ Abrams is out there, definitely pick him up. What do you think about Andres Jimenez at this point? He's someone who, coming into the season, he was a bit highly regarded, but now he's only hitting 238 this season. He hasn't really lived up to the hype. I mean, the Guardians haven't really lived up to what they were supposed to be. Only hitting 238 with 12 home runs. After hitting 297 last year. Not hitting well recently. Is he someone that you think could bounce back in September, or is he just stay away?
I personally am probably staying away from Jimenez. I mean, he's been okay since like the 10th. He's got a couple multi-hit games scattered in there, but he's got a lot of offers as well, which I don't really like. I'm really mainly staying away from Jimenez. I don't think he can recreate the magic of last year. I think this just goes down as a fantasy dud of a season for him, and I think you can find better options out there. I would like to throw out though that I actually had CJ Abrams as the next name on my list also. And I had a fun stat from the Fantasy Baseball Podcast Twitter feed. Shout out that dude. He promoted our
great feed
from yesterday on Twitter today. He said CJ Abrams pace his last 148 plate appearances is 23 home runs, 67 stolen bases, 97 runs, and a 750 OPS. That's nuts. My only knock on Abrams coming into the season was the fact that he doesn't really walk. He walked like less than 2% last year. It's only 4% this year. I would love to see that number go up, but Abrams is really fucking good. And yeah, if he's available in your league, he shouldn't be. You should probably already be rostered. And if you're listening to this and you're like, wait a minute, I don't think he is rostered in my league, go pick him up. He is primed to break out. Not even break out. He's just primed to kill it for the rest of the year. The next person on my list, though, Davis Schneider of the Toronto Blue Jays. He has already been very hot this year. I know he had that crazy start to the year when he got called up. Playing time was kind of a question mark since then. But with Bo Bichette going back onto the injury list, I think Schneider is the one who ends up benefiting from that the most. As of right now, I think my favorite stat is he has a 13.7% chase rate. That is the best chase rate in baseball. Granted, small sample size. We preach that a lot. Small sample sizes kind of are what you make of them. If you want to just say, yeah, it's a small sample size, doesn't mean much, then it doesn't mean much. If you want to say it's a small sample size, but it's a highly successful small sample size, you can say that as well. I personally think chase rate is something that you can look at a small sample size and kind of get a feel for who the player is, because somebody that like a Javi Baez who chases pitches that break into the dugout, he's never going to have a stretch where he has like a 13% chase rate in his career. Schneider so far this season, he's played in 12 games, but he's already got 5 home runs, 3 doubles, 12 RBI, and almost a 15% walk rate. Are you targeting Schneider for the end of the year? Are you as high up on him as I am, or are you kind of pumping the brakes a little bit?
Yeah, we talked about him 3 weeks ago when he had that insane first 3 games. He went 9 for 15 or whatever, 9 for 13 with 2 home runs. He's back to that though. He had home runs in 3 straight games since getting back really into the action over the weekend. He's had hits in all 3 games, went 6 for 10, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Like you said, does not chase too much. And I just realized now he's from South Jersey. He was born in Berlin, went to Eastern High School in Voorhees, which was not too far from where I grew up. So good South Jersey boy here. He's got a nice mustache. He's got the specs on. I'm a fan. I am now a fan of David Schneider. 5'9", a little short boy doing his thing. Yeah, I think he's it's because second base is also pretty shallow out there. So yeah, I think David Schneider, I think as long as he's going to play in time, and he should with Bichette now on the IL, I think he's worth a look.
Yeah, I think his batting average will come down a little. He has a BABIP like over 500 right now, so his batting average will come down a little. But he has legitimate pop, and we've kind of said the same thing with Zach Gelof. If you have legitimate pop and it's major league level home run ability, that plays at second base because there's not many guys that do. And all of the ones that do are the very, very top end guys like a Max Muncy and Ozzie Albies.
Did you mention his AAA home run numbers this year?
I did not.
He had 21 in 87 games. It's 1 home run pretty much every 4 games. Hitting 275. So yeah, he's not going to hit 425. He's not going to have an OPS over 1 for the rest of the season. But that home run power is there, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and random thought where my brain goes to. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to go to a break.
I was going to say, do you know Schwarber has the 5th highest or the 5th lowest home runs per plate appearance?
Oh, I did see that. Yes, I did see that. I thought you were going to go about the WAR thing with his defensive thing, and I was going to go off.
Oh no,
on a rant. So, but yeah, I did see that. It's like up there with it's like what Bonds, like Griffey's up there, like Pujols or somebody. McGuire, yeah, like Schwarber. It's 3 true outcome player there: strikeout, walk, or home run. But yeah, we are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. August is almost over, just a few days left. Time is running out for you to draft your fantasy football team on Underdog Fantasy. Get championship ready for your home league by trying out Best Ball on Underdog Fantasy. 1 live snake draft, no waivers, no trades. Set it, forget it, and Underdog does the rest. Try it out with Underdog's Best Ball Mania Tournament, the largest fantasy football contest of all time, with $15 million of total prizes up for grabs, including an absurd $3 million going to the winner. Do you have what it takes to win it all? The time is now. Last day to draft your fantasy football team is September 7th. So visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store and sign up with promo code SGPN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And make sure you check out the SGP Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 first place prize. This week's Patreon pick'em is all week 1 college football. Patreon is a great way to support the network and fight back against corporate gambling. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right. Someone who we've talked about, Royce Lewis. We talked about him when he was back healthy again. We're like, you know what? If he can stay healthy, he has the talent, and he has stayed healthy, and he has shown that talent. Hitting 298 in 12 games, 4 home runs, including back-to-back games with a grand slam on Sunday and Monday. 1 stolen base in there, so showing off a little bit of speed. OPS over 1, 3 doubles. Are you still out on Royce Lewis, or do you think he might be viable if he can stay healthy for the fantasy baseball playoffs?
I will eat a little bit of crow. I think I've been pretty steadfast on the fact that I think he is a better real-life baseball player than fantasy baseball player. I still think that, but I do think he has more fantasy viability than I was willing to give him previously. None of his numbers still jump off the page to me. I mean, he has a 317 average, but he has a 246 expected batting average. He's slugging 521. He's got a 406 expected slugging. He's got a barrel rate under 10%. Average exit velocity is only 88%. Hard hit rate's only 35%. And he's still pretty ground ball dominant at 40% ground ball rate. He doesn't have that insane speed that a lot of people thought he would have or hoped he would have. So I don't. I think he's going to hit you an okay amount of dingers for the rest of the year as long as he doesn't get hurt because he seems to be made of glass. But if he's healthy, I think he is a good fantasy option for the rest of the year. But you have to just pray that nobody breathes on him the wrong way and he misses more time.
Yeah, he hit second last night, hitting sixth tonight, hit fifth before, so he'll move up and down that Twins lineup a little bit. But yeah, he's been producing, and third base, shortstop eligible. I mean, shortstop is a shallower position as we talked about. So I think if he's still available, rostered in 49% of Yahoo leagues, I think he's probably worth a look over some of these other guys.
Somebody else that I think is worth a look. It's actually somebody that I don't think we've ever talked about on the show, at least not as of late. Garrett Cooper. Traded from Miami to the San Diego Padres, switching over to a first baseman. He doesn't have a ton of pop, but I mean, since he got traded to the Padres, he's playing essentially every day. He's batting 7th and 8th in the lineup, which kind of sucks. But he's got multi-hit games in 4 of his last 5. He's batting .327 with the Padres with a strikeout rate under 25%. Scored 6 runs, 5 extra base hits. He screams points league guy to me. Or I guess category league, if you're in like an on-base percentage league, I think that could play well because he's got a 400 on-base percentage since moving over to San Diego. So that could play well in a category league. But he screams more of a points league guy to me. Somebody getting on base, not striking out a ton. Walk rate, almost 10%. So he's only rostered in 2% of ESPN leagues, which means he's probably like 10% rostered on Yahoo. So there's some viability there. That is a strong lineup, even though the Padres do suck. Like win-loss record-wise, they still got Machado. They still got Tatis. They still got Juan Soto. They still have good guys hitting in that lineup somewhere around him. So if you're struggling for like a corner outfield spot or first base, I think Garrett Cooper has some real fantasy relevance from now till the end of the year.
Yeah, I think it's just what we talked about with Shanuel from the Angels. He doesn't have the pop you want to see out of a first baseman. He is getting on base 327, on base percentage of 400. But yeah, in deeper leagues, I think he's probably worth a look. But some other first basemen, I'm just looking right now. Brendan Belt's been good over the past 2 weeks, 30 days here up in Toronto. I'm trying to find some lower roster guys. Nolan Jones, I think I would definitely take over Cooper, but Jones is rostered in 40% of leagues. Cooper rostered in 2. Carlos Santana has been decent. He's been hurt ankle sprain past few days though, so maybe not. Wilmer Flores is still a good option. First base, second base, third base eligible. DJ LeMahieu, he's been picking it up recently. The Yankees, I know, kind of a laughing stock right now, but would you trust DJ LeMahieu in a 12-team league if you needed, like, I mean, he has first base, second base, third base. He has that try position eligibility, but like, do you trust him at this point?
Only in a points league. I've been saying that a lot lately, but only in a points league right now would I trust LeMahieu. I have a hard time trusting anybody not named Judge from that team. I mean, even Judge and Garrett Cole. I'll give Garrett Cole some credit. And I do really like Anthony Volpe, even though the batting average isn't great. I do like what Anthony Volpe is doing. Everybody gives him a lot of shit, but he's about to have a 2020 season as a rookie, which is not easy to do. So, yeah, I'm out on LeMahieu unless it's like a deep points league and you're really just looking for a solid, consistent option for the rest of the year because he's never going to blow you away. He's never going to have that crazy game that's like, oh shit. DJ LeMahieu just hit 3 home runs, like 5 for 5 with 3 home runs. That's not going to happen. He's going to be more like a 1 for 4 with no strikeouts and scores a run type of player. So if that's what you're looking for, I know we talked about lottery ticket type players on the last episode. He's kind of the complete opposite of that. He's just consistent. So if you're in a place where consistent gets you to the playoffs, look at like a DJ LeMahieu. I like that.
Yeah,
somebody that I want to get your.
All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I got somebody first base wise that I want to get your input on. Mark Canha. Since August 13th, 4 extra base hits, 10 RBI, hitting 317 with a BABIP at 314. He's hitting better than his BABIP. But he's got a 10.5% walk rate and a 10.5% strikeout rate, which screams points league to me. But do you think he has some viability in more leagues than that moving forward? I think he's in Milwaukee now.
Yeah, he is in Milwaukee now. I don't think so. He's hitting third tonight. He usually hits sixth or fifth. Hit second also. Hit fourth as well. So I guess he's moving around that lineup depending on who's hot. The Brewers right now are just hot as a team. I think they've won like 9 or 10 in a row. Canna 8% rostered. I think that's probably about where it should be. Maybe it should be closer to 15 or 20, but first base and outfield eligible does help him a little bit. Maybe in like deep 12 team leagues or 15 team leagues, 16 team leagues, maybe look at him. But I'm not loving him right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about him. He just screams points league to me, or like a fill in a pinch if you're in like a real deep league and you can't really figure out. His barrel rate's low in that time frame. It's like 3%, which sucks. His hard hit rate's like 40%, which isn't great. But he's finding a way to at least get on base and not strike out. Got an 87% zone contact rate in that time frame. So he's got a good eye for the ball right now, which does tend to play well in a fantasy format. When you have a guy that is seeing the ball well, then make good contact, and good contact usually results in good fantasy value. So Canna again's not going to blow you away, but he's got a little bit of pop. 2 home runs in that frame, but yeah, I like Canna if you really need something.
God, yeah, and looking at the first baseman, like just who've been good over the past 14 days, 30 days, under rostered, Tristan Casas of the Boston Red Sox. He's been great in the second half. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Second half, he has 12 home runs in 34 games, as opposed to 9 home runs in double the amount of games, 68 games in the first half, hitting 320 as opposed to 225 in the first half, hitting OPS of 1.07 opposed to 728. So he's killing the ball here in the second half. Red Sox are still kind of hanging on a little bit in the playoff race there, though. So he's a piece of their future. I mean, it's going to be Devers locked up for them. Tristan Casas is one of their big next prospects. So I think he's going to continue to get better as the season moves along.
Yeah, 58% and speaking of the Red Sox, that's like, I think we can mention sometimes the guys that are kind of teetering on that waiver wire available line. I think anything under 60%, you could make a case where they're still available enough to be relevant. Somebody that I wanted to just mention real quick that we talked about yesterday that played, Ceddanne Rafaela. He went 1 for 1 yesterday. He got in as a pinch hitter. He went 1 for 1. I wanted to see him steal a base, but he didn't do it. But he swung at the first pitch he saw and hit a nice little bloop single in the right field. There's a lot of upside there, man. I'm getting more excited the more I think about him playing every day. So
that's the thing. He's not going to play every day. He didn't start last night. He's not starting tonight. Maybe they'll give him the Wednesday afternoon start. I mean, before the off day, maybe before the off day, maybe he'll get a start there. Give Duvall a rest, or give someone a rest and DH Duvall. But yeah, I mean, I still have him. I still have him in my 12-team league and my 8-team keeper. I'm not going to cut bait yet, but I do want to see him starting more, and hopefully it's not just like a temporary call up. But as we said yesterday, like, he's such a good prospect that you shouldn't call him up just for a few games.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I saw the news earlier that Jarren Duran is going to have season-ending surgery on his toe or whatever it is. And they were getting Duran in the lineup every single day, even with the current structure of the lineup they have right now. Duran was getting every day at bats.
Duvall was out for a bit, though. I think
Duvall's been back for.
He has been.
He's
back.
been back for
he hasn't
quite
been
a bit
good,
of time.
I guess he hasn't been this good.
Yeah, and Duran was still getting consistent at bats. So I'm wondering if they can just use Rafaela in kind of the same type of way and just find a way to get him out there every game. Especially, I mean, he swung at the first pitch he saw for a single. It's a single, sure, but I mean, Julio went hitless in like his first 5 at bats last year. So That where there's a will, there's a way. But what in the world? There we go. My mic doesn't kill me before I get this out. I appreciate you guys for listening and all of you that have come to hang out in the live stream. We love to see you guys here, and we love to see you guys checking out the podcast on the podcast feeds. We are on any podcast feed that you like to listen to podcasts on. I think we're up to like 30 now. So if you are listening, if you could hit that like and follow button and turn on auto downloads, that goes a long way towards helping us out, and it ensures you getting our episodes as soon as they get dropped. You automatically have it up, ready to go, loaded, ready to rock for your drive to work, your workout, wherever you listen to our sweet, sweet voices. And also make sure you follow us on our socials. We are literally everywhere. You can look us up on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. What other one has the same? TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch at Fake Baseball Money. You can find us on Facebook. Just search Baseball Money is Fake. We are live there right now. Shout out to all of you that are watching us on Facebook. And you can follow me on Twitter at Balake. BUHHLOCKAYE.
And you can follow me on Twitter at RGilbertSOP.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.